Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give you a different video than normal. I'm doing a DIY today and it's going to be a part of my wedding series. So we are 2 months away from the wedding, so I'm starting our DIY and our crafting phase. So I'm going to show you today how I'm making our seating chart. I'm trying to keep my hands close to myself because when my camera is on autofocus, it tries to go a lot of places because I move my hands a lot. So our wedding is a modern spin on a garden party, so it's going to be very organic. We're using all neutrals. My bridesmaid dresses are like a nude champagne color, so everything is really neutral and nude. Our bouquets are a lot of greenery with a couple really white roses. The tent that our reception is a big white tent. It has white drapes coming from the ceiling, and the drapes are going to have vines and lights like these hung from the ceiling. Our centerpieces are all going to be greenery, so everything is really modern and organic and a little bit of that kind of garden party feel. So today I'm going to be making our seating chart where your guests are going to look and see where they are seating. So it's going to have all of our table numbers with lines for everybody's names. Now, because we haven't sent out our invitations yet and don't have the RSVPs, I'm not going to be writing the names on it, but I'm going to show you how I take this really affordable DIY thrift store option and turn it into a really elegant, glamorous, and classic sign for our seating chart. So I'm just going to jump into this video, so if you want to see how I'm going to create a very affordable DIY seating chart for a wedding, keep watching. Okay, so this is a picture that I got from the thrift store, and it was originally $14, and it has this really pretty gold frame. I'll give you guys some close-ups, but it's got this really nice leaf-inspired, it's like a leaf embroidery inside of the frame. But it is a yellow gold, so we are going to be painting the frame rose gold. And then the picture that's in it we're going to completely take out, and we're just going to be using the glass to write our seating chart on. So the back of it is just this cardboard piece that has that flower in it. So we're going to be taking that out. So this is what the back of the frame looks like. So there's these little staples that are on the back of here that are keeping this in place, which I've already brought up. So it's just like the back of any regular picture frame. I just took like a butter knife and lifted them up so that I can really easily take out this picture that's in here. So the whole picture is just on this cardboard, so it's kind of laid out like this. It's literally just like a poster inside of this cardboard with this border. We don't need that. That's going away. So now we're left with the frame and the glass. So now we're just left with the frame and the glass. So what I'm going to do is take out the glass. Make sure that all of your little staple guys are really put back. Okay, so I've gotten this part out, so I'm just going to slide it out of the frame and then put that aside. So now we're just left with the gorgeous border and the gorgeous frame. So you can kind of see that there's like a leaf embroidery in this. So it is like a true yellow gold. So what we're going to be doing is going outside and spray painting this rose gold. And then while this is drying, we're going to take the glass and then we're going to start to clean that off and prep for our lettering paint. So now I'm going to go outside and spray paint this rose gold. I'm going to show you guys all of the tools that I'm going to use to get this nice and painted. I'm not going to do any like prep work or sealant as far as right now because I just want to make sure that this is the color that I want and it goes the way that I plan on it going, and that it keeps this texture on here. I did find a couple of these borders and frames at the thrift store that there's a couple really cool ones as well, so if this one doesn't work out, I have a couple that I saw at a few other thrift stores and a couple at Hobby Lobby that I liked, but this was a lot more simple and minimalistic, which is more suited for our theme. So I'm going to insert a quick little time lapse of me spray painting this rose gold. this is what it looks like after spray painting it. I'm not sure that this is exactly the color of rose gold I'm going for, and pretty sure that, yeah, I completely covered up all of that embossing that was on there that I loved so much. That sucks. But I don't know, we'll let this dry. We'll work on the inside of it and see how we like it. So now that we have our painted frame drying outside, I'm going to clean off this glass with just some paper towels and some Windex. And I have to get this sticker off, which shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to clean this off, and then I'm going to show you what I'm using for our lettering. So now that the glass is clean, I'm going to take this brush lettering set. This comes with lettering paint and the brushes to put them on with. And then I also, this piece of paper that says please find your seat. So I'm going to be tracing this on the back of the glass. So I'm actually going to cut this out so that I can put it behind the glass, and then I'm going to tape it using some painter's tape so that way it doesn't slip and slide and we don't end up drawing things where we don't want them. So now I have all of these into 3 different places so that now I can put them all together because I want them all to be on one line. Shorten that. So now I can have them all in one long line. So I'm going to grab some painter's tape so that we can paint this on the back of it to use as our tracer. But now I'm going to take out my paint and my brush set, and we're just going to hope for the best here. I think I'm going to start off with a small brush because that seems to have the smallest tip. Alright. I'm not going to do a second coat. I'm just going to take this off and see where we're at. Okay, not too shabby. So obviously you can tell that I was struggling with the P and the L, but I'm going to redo that. But the rest, I think, honestly looks really good with just one coat. I like how it's kind of a little transparent in some spots. So now I'm just going to go through and write the table numbers and then a couple lines with each table number. I printed out this sheet of lines. I had to add a couple of them. You could just make this yourself, but I literally just Googled something that had 8 horizontal lines on it because I want this to be as straight and even as possible. And then put this right here and just trace over these lines. So I actually have like 15 tables with 8 seats on it, so I'm gonna have a lot smaller of lines than this, but I think that it looks really cool and pretty with these nice big lines so that you have a lot of room to write your guest names on. Now when it comes to writing your guest names on here, I would really suggest taking just a regular paint marker and writing them in regular font rather than in calligraphy, because that's gonna take a lot more time to do. So I want these to kind of look like brush strokes. So I'm going to kind of sloppily go over them. Oops. And if you mess up, just have a paper towel handy with some Windex on it. You got to put a little bit of pressure into it, but it'll come off. When I was redoing the P and the L, it's definitely a lot harder to get this paint off when you do it later after it's already dried. So if you need to correct anything, make sure that you are doing it within like a couple minutes of your doing, because that way it doesn't completely dry, because it does come off still, but it's definitely a lot harder. So now I'm going to put the glass back into the frame. If you really want this for your wedding and this was a frame like this one, I would suggest doing some Gorilla Glue on the inside of your border of the frame. But because we have these little notches that we can secure them with inside of the frame, I'm just going to use those for now, and then if I need extra security, I will use the Gorilla Glue. So if you guys can see right here, I literally broke my glass putting it back in. So really be careful with these old frames. This frame I'm not going to be using for the wedding, obviously, because it just broke, but also because the back of it is really kind of janky and it's got like these staples that are securing it. So definitely make sure when you're buying a frame at like Goodwill that it has some secure backings on it, or just make sure that you open it enough so that you're not going to struggle putting the glass in there. This is the completed look. I hope that you guys like how this turned out. I really love how everything came together, even though there were a couple of snags along the way. Don't forget, when you're doing DIYs, give yourself a couple different options so that you can have a little bit of room to mess up, because we're all human. But I love how this ended up. I just added some fake lamb's ear garlands on the top. You can decorate this however you want, but I love how the floating glass looks. So if you like this video, don't forget to like it, and I will see you guys in my next one.